when you choose to be better for yourself rather than trying to impress them, in the end, you don't need to be bitter because it benefited you. It's time to become a new you, mentally, emotionally well. Let this shit go. Shame, hurt, insecurities, and triggers. Reclaim your power. When you don't know who you are, you give others the power to define you. What others think about you doesn't matter. What you think and say about yourself creates who and what you are. Ready to activate the power within you? Let's go. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and hit the notification bell so you're notified every time a new video is uploaded. How many times in a relationship, be honest now, have you chosen to do something for someone else rather than for yourself? Or you allowed someone else to be the motivation behind you being a better person? Or you allowed what somebody else thought to convince you to do something that wasn't even necessarily what you wanted to do. You were doing it because they wanted you to do it. So what you were really doing is you were showing up inauthentic in the relationship. And when something doesn't work for you, eventually that's going to come out. That's why it's really not a good idea to go into a relationship pretending that you are something that you are not. You're being this ooey gooey, smiley, joyful person, but inside you really don't like people. Inside you really don't like to socialize, but you're making the other person feel like you're okay with it because it's something that they like to do. And then the relationship continues on. You make a commitment to each other, and then eventually you just cannot hold who you are inside anymore. Anybody can relate to that? Leave me a comment in the comment section. So let's talk about this today. I believe that every person benefits by becoming the greatest version of themselves. However, you don't benefit when you are trying to become the greatest version of yourself to please someone else, or to get the guy, or to get the girl. Because eventually you're not going to be able to hide the truth of who you are. And eventually they're not going to be able to hide the truth of who they are. You see the flags, but you're trying to ignore flags because in my last video I talked about this, being desperate to be in a relationship. And then the relationship doesn't quite work out and you become resentful of all of these things that you did for the other person. But if you make a decision to be better, to do better, and to have better, because that's going to benefit you in the long term, then you don't have to be concerned with wasting time. You don't have to be concerned about doing something for somebody else and it didn't end up working out. Again, every relationship that you're in serves to teach you, test you, strengthen you, bring out the best or the worst in you. Every relationship is about you. Every relationship is an opportunity for you to be a greater version of yourself. But that can't happen when you're focusing on doing everything because of the other person, not doing everything because of the other person, being resentful because of the other person, focusing on the other person. See the pattern here? How is focusing on somebody else? How is focusing on doing something for the benefit of somebody else truly benefiting you? I want to help you to see your relationships in a better way because, like everybody else, I've been through some rough relationships, but I have learned some very valuable lessons about myself. I have learned some very valuable lessons about life through my relationships. And so I'm a firm believer that our relationships are our greatest teachers. And you can learn greatness from every relationship. You can learn it from your partner, intimate partner. You can learn from your parents. You can learn from your children. You can learn from friends, co-workers, bosses. Every relationship is an opportunity for you to learn, to be better, learn to do better, learn to have better. And so if you're in relationships right now that are not supporting you, but are subtracting from you, then the only person that you need to come face to face with is yourself. And if this is a pattern for you in relationships, then you really need to come face to face with yourself, because you are attracting to yourself who you are. And so until you identify the energy that is in operation here, that is attracting what you don't like and what is not conducive to you being the better version of yourself, to yourself, you're going to continue in the same pattern. And then you're going to live with regrets on the other side, because you're going to be talking the story of how you wasted your time and how you wish you hadn't been a part of this, and you should have ended the relationship after the last breakup. Listen, take it from me, Danica 5.3. That conversation, that story does not serve you. It's a limiting story. It's a disempowering story. It's a victim story. You're making everything about you about the other person. And that's just not the way it is. And if you can accept this, if you would be open to just giving consideration to this, I promise it can change your life. I've had to do it for myself. And I'm going to tell you about that right now. So if you follow my story, you know that I suffered great rejection from my father as a child. There was a lot of things about my relationship with my father as a child that I really didn't like. But when I had my own children, I discovered in the beginning of my parenting journey that I was doing a lot of what was done to me to my children. And I remember very specifically, my father used to fuss all the time. It's like every time he opened his mouth, he was fussing or complaining about something. And I was doing the same thing in the beginning. And my son, I thank God for him, thank God for your children, and thank God for your children when they call you out on stuff. But my son said to me one day, he said, "Mommy, you don't need to row all the time." Rowing is a Bahamian word for fussing, right? He said, "You don't need to row all the time." And I was getting ready to just go in on him. But it was like, Danica, listen to yourself and listen to him and pay attention to the energy that is at play here. And you know what I discovered? That I was parenting my children in a way that I didn't enjoy being parented. And then I discovered that me being a parent to my children was an opportunity for me to parent myself the way that I wish I had been parented. Completely changed the game for me. And so I didn't focus on becoming better for someone else, so that if at the end of the day my children left and didn't pay attention to me, or didn't check for me, that I would be bitter. No. I decided that I wanted to be a better parent for me. And then I decided I wanted to be a damn good mommy no matter what. So whatever you focus on, you give permission to be your experience. Whatever you feed will grow, and whatever you starve will die. So if you identify today that you are very negative in your thought process and in your beliefs when it comes to relationships, if you identify today that you are more focused on how other people are showing up in relationship with you rather than how you're showing up in relationship with them, then you are not giving yourself an opportunity to be a better version of yourself for yourself. You can't change the actions of anybody else. The only actions you have control over are your own. If you want greatness in relationship, then be in a relationship what you want someone to be for you. Let me say that again, because I think it's so good that I need to repeat it. Be the person in your relationships, I don't care what kind of relationship it is, that you want the person who you're in relationship with to be to you. You're going to attract to yourself who you are. Like energy attracts like energy. So if you are experiencing a particular energy within your relationships, within the partner in your relationship, within your children in the relationship, within your parents, then you need to start with the man in the mirror, honey, the woman in the mirror, because that's the only person that you can change. And I guarantee you that whatever you give to the world will give back to you. Whatever you give to your relationship will give back to you. For every action, there is a reaction. So, how are you showing up in your relationships? Are you the person in your relationship that you want the person who you in relationship with to be to you? If not, then start with the man or the woman in the mirror. Ask him or her to change her ways, because no message could be any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make that change. Do it for you, so that if the relationship doesn't work out, you are a better person because of that relationship for yourself. So you can truly be better rather than bitter. And in that, you always have a choice. Let's continue this conversation over on Facebook. Click the link in the description box to join the conversation. I am committed to supporting you on your mental and emotional wellness journey. I want you to become a new you, to become the greatest version of yourself that you can be. If you need some support with that, then click the link in my description box, head on over to my website, and let's talk about it one-on-one. And until next time, remember, if you desire it, then you do deserve it.